day is it?
I don't know. Not a work day?
Not a work day, right? Okay, my name's Cammie. This is Man Frand, and this is actually one of the first Man Friends I've ever done where I've put all my makeup on, so...
Really? Well, I mean, I know you put on makeup today.
Yeah,
I saw you, but I thought
on.
I thought you've done it before, so I thought.
So we just celebrated 4 years of bliss. Mm-hmm. How do you handle nosy people? That's my question.
Is that the segue from us being together for 4 years?
Yeah, well, that was just something that I really felt like, you know, when you're together 4 years, the amount of questions that I received along the lines of, shit'll get off the pot, or whatever they say. Mm-hmm. Or like, so you all getting married? Like, it's, you know, and it's funny because my friends are great. My friends get it. They totally get it. And they never, you know, and it's weird because I'll encounter nosy people and then I feel like I have to over-explain with my friends. And my friends are like, Cam, we get it.
It's understandable.
It's not even a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel I had to over-explain. Mm-hmm. So my question for you is, how do you handle nosy people when it's a question about your relationship? It's a question about the two of you. And most of the time, I truly believe people aren't even nosy. I truly believe people aren't even nosy when it comes down to it. I feel like they just are curious.
Do you want my opinion on anything? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
or do you want to keep talking?
I'm rambling.
Just going to use all... This one's probably going to be longer because she just used 5 minutes of our typical 10 to 15. I'm going to do some quick hit points real quick.
Okay.
It's going to span a few areas. One, as much as we're talking about external nosy, we need to be talking about internal nosy as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm with the nosiest person I've ever met in my life.
Oh, gosh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, that's it, but I want to expound on that. Number two, I'll jump first to, we're in the South. Mm. I grew up in the South. You've obviously been all around. But as anyone listening knows, and anyone else, I mean, pretty much, you're expected... I mean, there's expectations.
Okay.
I'm going to get to more. I still got about 2 more points after this. Then we'll cut it and go to your stuff. But we're in the South. People expect you to get married. If you're not married after a certain time, they wonder why. They wonder what's wrong with you, whatever else. On that side note, you know, you see a lot of people in high school and everyone, and they meet there forever. And there are some couples that you see that are absolutely amazing, and some of them have been together that long, and it is awesome to see because you just see how they mesh. However, the pressure, especially in the South, I've never lived anywhere else, but I'll come to that in one of my last side notes of the side note. But they it's expected. So that pressure, and if you feel you're together and you see everyone else together, you just do it. You get married early. I'm not saying in high school. I've seen that with some shotgun weddings and things like that. Some still together, some not. But also, maybe right when you finish college or even into college. I mean, it is crazy. And the rate of those that I see later on divorced, I'm not saying immediately, 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe a kid or two as well, divorced. Now I'm divorced as well. I was in my 30s when that happened. So, I'm just saying, that's the thing. It's expected. Every older lady's going to ask about it. My parents would love a grandchild on my end. One didn't come out of the first marriage. So they're ready. They got a minivan. They had a minivan since probably I hit puberty, hoping I would have a child at some point. So they love all my cousins' children's like their own, since I have not given them an heir to the throne. Now,
is the question gonna be?
Is the first one going to be asked?
The question going to be asked.
Yes, but this is kind of a background. Get around to the last. Just let this one be 15 minutes.
Let's go.
Okay. The other thing is I'm almost 40 years old and I don't have a kid. I've watched a lot of other friends and not married and things like that. So with that, you also get the question of when you have grandkids, oh, you don't have a kid? It affects you, oddly enough, in Southern jobs because people say marriage and kids show security and they hire you. Things like that. Craziness, but I've seen it happen. It is the way it is. I Google what the average male having their first child is.
Yeah.
And female as well, to see in other states. And it's crazy when you get outside the South. It truly is late 30s, sometimes early 40s. Okay, that how I deal with nosy people. That was the background to show, obviously, why we have the nosy people we have. How I deal with nosy people is, it depends on who they are and how close they are to me. If they're not close to me, then it's, who gives, it's like, I don't even know you. It depends. It really on how sarcastic I can be with them. Some of it is, mind your own business. Some of it is, you know me, and you know me. I'm in a great relationship. Things are going to work out. It's different with everybody. It depends on the level of nosiness. If you're an asshole, it's a fuck off. Excuse my language on that. But if it is, because they're probably just as nosy and they've probably been through 3 divorces and have 5 kids, and then they're wondering about me. I'm like, well, I'm sorry I didn't jump into it every time, and I'm sorry I knew how to protect myself as well. So we go down a whole span. She could give me examples. All right, we'll go from there, and I see my aunt's watching, so I'm very sorry for the rude comments I just made, and if your grandkids were around, I apologize for that as well. So sorry. Cammy will work on editing. Okay, back to you.
Okay, so some of the things that I noticed is there are certain ways to handle some of the nosiness, right? Some of the nosy questions.
Yeah.
These are questions like, for me, I over-explain.
No.
I do. I found myself over-explaining. And then when people would and I'm like, why am I arguing with somebody about my life?
You don't know them a damn thing.
I know, but it's weird. I over-explain. And it's, anywho. Okay, so I found these tips on dealing with nosy people.
Okay.
How to handle nosy people.
All right.
First of all, humor, which seems like you do a lot of.
Yeah, humor's fun.
Not sure when we'll have kids. I want to nail the marriage thing first, as an example, right?
That's good. You lose that somewhat in the later years, but it's still a good one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Politely tell someone they've overstepped their boundaries, or you could say something like, I'll let you know when we do.
I think that's for some of the...
Isn't that awesome? I'll let you know when we do. I like to have words ready.
I think even for close people, I can be like, listen, you'll know, trust me. And so, in dating you, I can also say, watch your social media, because something will pop up. But, for others, I just say, happens when it happens, and that brushes them off. Sometimes you have a little humor, they get the point, and they go through. And if it's anyone, which I've never had it, that keeps on harping about it, then that is when you can get a little more rude at that point. Be like, it's none of your business, But I don't think I've ever had anyone that's continued to push. I mean, once you kind of give that first answer, they can judge whether it's something you want to talk more about or not.
Well, I'm very open too, and that's why I think sometimes I over-explain myself.
Yeah, and you can open up more cans of worms when you do that.
I think so too.
Depending on the nosiness of the person.
And then I like this one. If that doesn't work, offering a longer explanation of just enjoying what we're doing right now, not stressing about the big milestones, they'll come.
Yeah.
I like that. It's very general, but getting the point across.
It's general. That's what a lot of people say. I mean, people are used to hearing that as well, so you're good.
Okay, so on the flip side of it, in thinking about this, there are some questions that I have asked people, because I'm a very nosy person myself. And I mean nosy in the sense, I like to get to know someone, and I'm very open. So sometimes I find myself doing the things that I hate other people doing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all do that on many aspects.
Right?
It's just situational.
Okay, so I found this other list. Questions you don't have to answer if you're in a couple. Tell me if you agree. Why aren't you spending holidays together? I think that is a really nosy question.